That's me again. I just got my wife's helper, but I'm using it for my helper, Blue. So, these things are really comforting. They're good to have. Everybody needs at least one, and I'm sure everybody has one. They just sometimes they don't want to admit it, but everybody has one. At least have had one growing up in their childhood somewhere, something. It might not even been a stuffy. Some people, Linus on the Peanuts there, has his blanket. They have something that they can get comfort from. Some people have animals too, um, for comfort. Um, uh, it's just one of those things. We all need to be comforted somehow a little bit. Um, who doesn't like a good snuggle? Well, anyways, I do. I like the snuggle. Um, then my game comes in this box or this briefcase. Not all of them, but this one happens to come in. It has to have a briefcase. In fact, most of them I think have a briefcase. Um, there might be some they make that are cheap, and they have a box. Just in the box is what because you need the inside of the briefcase to play. Um, I don't know if I should say the name, but I will. Backgammon. Has anybody ever played backgammon before? Um, it's a somewhat fun, challenging game. Let's see what's inside. Ta-da! It has over here your little I don't know what do you call them, little peg. No, that's not a peg. Peg is something you poke in. The little circles. I want tokens, maybe consider them a token, maybe sorta. I don't know the proper word. If anybody knows the proper word, what you would kind of call that, you can let me know. And then you have your dice. They're kind of small. Um, oh, you got two people, and you got so many people. So you split up your chips or whatever you want to call them. So many on this side, like on these little. I don't even want to call them, but anyway, you go on here, your little strips here. Go the browns on brown, whites on white, and you take and you move your brown. If you're brown, you move on brown, or well, no, you don't necessarily move on brown, but you start off on a brown, and then you've got to move over. You move. So if I'm on this side and I'm brown, I'm going to move this way, and then they'll move this way with their white, and you'll try and get them all over. And then once you get them over to your side, then you got to move them over into your thing by using dice. It's a little bit it takes a little bit more of that to understand, but that's kind of the gist of it. Um, later on, I'm gonna have tutorials on exactly how to play them, but for now I'm just doing this for now, and all of it is depending on me getting a house. So I've got to get myself in gear, and I'm looking. I'm looking for a house in my budget, and that's another thing we'll talk about one of these times. Okay. Uh, I wanted to talk about manners, being polite. I'm not always. I'm generally polite, man. If I, come on. We all been taught when we were a kid. I mean, if you have some parents are really strict on manners, man. My wife's parents were strict on manners. She's from Guatemala, and my gosh, you didn't even fart at the dinner table. You had to get up and leave, and Yeah, you just didn't do it. I grew up on a farm, and sadly to say, sometimes you farted at the dinner table. It wasn't, you say, excuse me, I'm sorry, or, whatever, but I don't know. Sometimes you held it in too, and, and you didn't, you tried to be polite about it, but sometimes it happened, but, oh, you didn't, my wife, you didn't let it happen. You got up from the table and you went to the bathroom or something, or away from the table, because those fumes can contaminate your food. That's their thoughts, that can go right into your food. I don't know how necessarily true that is. Yeah, I don't look at it that way, but obviously there may be some truth to that. Um, what is it? And then so I have a little. My wife's trying to teach me manners. Um, I know what they are, but I've been, I'm educated. I kind of know what manners are. If I'm out in public, I try not to, fart so much, but I do fart, you know. I get it from my father. He was an avid farter. Well, back then you ate a lot of beans. Beans were a part of a lot of meals, and yeah, and beans cause gas. If you didn't know that, most people, and maybe there's a few out there that it don't bother, but a lot of times beans cause gas. Check my time again. Yeah. All right. Um. So another thing is just a couple things I want to. I don't know, just something I came up with. Belching like, you know. Again, at a dinner table, it's not necessarily the politest thing to do. But uh, being manners, opening a door for somebody, you should, I was taught a few of those things. I was taught those things. Hey, be polite. Um, Open the door for somebody. Hold it for them. You'd be surprised. You go out. Some people don't do that, but you'd be surprised on how and say good morning. That's being polite. My wife culture and stuff. You come into a room and you come into somebody's house, you greet everybody. You shake their hand, everybody. You greet them. And how often as a society now we can't get away from that a little bit. Um, you say hi to everybody. In your culture, you tell them to give hugs to everybody. You know what I mean? Uh, you got some cultures, a kiss on the cheek is, oh, you come, so many good things from different cultures, and back in the day, in the United States, we had that pretty much that kind of culture too, but we slowly growed away from it a little bit, and I'm not sure exactly why. If you want to make a comment of what you think why we've grown away from that, but we have. And well, I just got to say that think about that. Um, you know, Manners are an important thing in society. Um, you want to be treated with respect. Well, there you go. Manners. Treat people with respect. Honor your elders and that type of thing. It's all part of you know, um, all part of learning. Anyways, thank you for watching. Um, I would like to see my channel grow. my manager would say, please, if you would like to subscribe and share my videos, thank you, and I appreciate it. Goodbye.